8th grade. So our learning target today is I can write and graph inequalities. So you should be on page 1. So let's talk about first, what is an inequality? An unequal means not. In or not equal is an inequality. So we have this scenario today where we have these greater than, less than symbols. So our first example here is this greater than symbol. So we're saying that x is greater than some value. We'll have some number there. Could be an integer, could be just a rational number. And then we have x is less than. I've heard a couple of students say that they think of this as an L here, and then that's their less than symbol. Not sure if that helps you, but it's something that you could use if you're struggling there. So then over here we have this equal to options. We have this equal to bar where now we're going to include that equal to option. So we're going to say that it is greater than or equal to. So we have this option of greater than or equal to. And then on the bottom one, then we have this symbol here, which is that less than symbol. So we're going to say less than or equal to. So I'll let you catch up there on your notes, and then we're going to talk about how to graph those. So go ahead and get those notes down first, and then we'll talk about how we would graph those. So when it is the option of or equal to, when that bar is there in both of those scenarios, when it's or equal to, we're going to ink it. Use lots and lots of ink, and we're going to include it. So I like to say we ink or include that value because it could be equal to or greater. Or on the bottom there, we could be equal to or less. The opposite situation would be, is it just greater than? Then it's just a nice open circle. That's not looking open there. I meant it to be just open circle. Let me redraw this one so that it's pretty clear that we have an open circle. We're not including. We're just saying greater than or less than on the left side there. On the right hand side, we have that bar on the bottom. We say or equal to. We're going to use lots and lots of ink, include it. So we're going to look at some scenarios where we're given either words, inequality, or graph. We'll have to work it all different directions here on this example as we go. So I'm going to be in box number 1 where it says the price is 10 or more. So we have the price is 10 or more. So my inequality would be that the price, P, is 10 or more. So we're going to include the 10 or greater. So we're going to go ahead and write our number lines here. Now in my class, I want you to put that value in the middle here. And then we're going to work least to greatest. So if $10 is in the middle, then we would have 1 less, 2 more here, 2 less, 2 more. So it would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with 10 in the middle. Because it's 10 or more and we're including the 10, we're going to use lots and lots of ink on that 10. Now I'm thinking of value that is greater than 10 because it says give me a value that's greater than 10. So 11 would work. So we're going to shade in the direction that makes it a true statement. So 10, 11, 12, 13 to infinity would all be values that are 10 or more. So there's our inequality and there's our graph, and we are done. Notice I put this giant arrow at the end, which means I'm going to go all the way to infinity there as I work through that. All right, in example 2 then, it says the price is just more than 10. It's not equal to this time. Price is just more than 10. Price greater than 10. So we're going to put that, I don't know where I got the 5. Sorry about that. It should be a 10 here. 10 is what I meant to write, my fault. So we're going to put a 10 in the middle, and we're going to 2 less, 2 more it. So 2 less, 2 more. Thinking about the value of 10, price greater than 10, we are not including the 10 there. So we have an open circle at 10. We're not including the 10. It can't be equal to. And any value that's greater than 10. Here's an example. 11 would work. 12 would work. All those would work. So we're going to shade in the direction that makes it true with the giant arrow extending into infinity. So 10 does not work, but everything greater than 10 works. So either $10 1 cent works, $10 2 cents works, all the way to infinity in the positive direction. So that's example 2. If I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause that video. Otherwise, we're going to move on. In example 3, it says the price is 5 or less. So its price is less than 5, or the price can be equal to 5 or less. So we're going to put that 5 in the middle. We're going to 2 less, 2 more. 2 less, 2 more. And we're saying that the price could be equal to 5 or less. So we're going to include and use lots of ink on that 5 because we're including 5. It could be equal to 5. And any values less than 5 would be 4, 3, 2, and so on, all the way to infinity. So price is 5 or less. In example 4, the price is less than 5. So now we're not including the 5, cannot be equal to the price is just less than 5. So we have a 5 here in the middle. We're going to 2 less, 2 more. So we 2 less, we 2 more. So we have an open circle here at 5, not including, and all the values less than 4 at 5. So this time we are not including the 5 because it cannot be equal to. Notice the giant arrow on the end saying that we're going all the way to infinity there. All the prices that are less than 5. Open circle at 5 because we're not including 5, just less than 5. Remember this symbol right here means less than. That L, less than, if that helps you. Moving on to example 5. Here we go. We have 2 different scenarios here. The price is at least 5, but no more than 10. So the price is at least 5. So we have price at least 5, 5 or more. But it is not more than 10. So that means that the price could be equal to 10, but not more than 10. So the price is somewhere between 5 and 10. So we have to combine these thoughts into one. So we have this price in the middle be of 5 and 10. As I look at my scenario here, all arrows have to point in the same direction. They have to flow in a sense. When I compare the price and 5, when I compare these two, I'm going to highlight that for you. When I compare the price and 5, alligator's eating the price. So when I compare the price and 5 here, alligator still needs to eat the price. So notice when I compare price and 5, alligator's eating the price. So when I compare the price and 5, alligator still needs to eat the 5, which means that the sign actually has to flip there, and it's 5 less than or equal to price. Now we have this other scenario here comparing price and 10. As I compare the price with 10, alligator's eating the 10. So when I compare the price and 10 here, alligator still needs to eat the 10. It has to stay in the same format. So price less than or equal to 10. We still have price less than or equal to 10. Now I want you to take special note that these arrows now are flowing in the same direction. That's very important in our work today. For graph, we're going to just throw 5 on the left side and 10 on the right side. We do not have to be picky about our scaling on this. We are going to include all the prices at 5 because it could be equal to 5. And we're going to include all the prices at 10 because it could be equal to 10. We're talking about all prices in between. So we ink at 5, we ink at 10, and we're talking about all prices between 5 and 10. All right, now if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause that video, or otherwise we're going to move on. So we have the prices more than 5 here. More than 5, notice it's not equal to. And the price is less than 10. Again, notice it's not equal to. So we have to get those thoughts into one box here. So we're saying that the price is somewhere between 5 and 10. This is where it gets a little tricky for kids. Go ahead and catch up if that's too fast. When I compare price and 5, I have alligator eating price. So when I compare price and 5 down here, alligator still needs to eat the price. So we're going to go ahead and flip that sign and make sure that it's consistent that alligator is still eating price when we compare price and 5. Over on the other side then, we said that the price has to be less than 10 though. So when I compare these two, the price and 10, alligator is eating 10. Alligator still needs to eat 10 as I compare price and 10. So that doesn't make any changes at all. Notice that the signs are flowing in the same direction, super duper important. We're comparing the prices between 5 and 10. We're going to lock those in as our endpoints. Now, being picky about scale here. So we end up having open circle at 5 because we're not including the price of 5. Open circle at 10 because we're not including the price at 10. And we're talking all the prices between 5 and 10, not including 5, not including 10. All right, guys, moving on here. In example 7, we are given the graph this time. We're going to have to work backwards, work to the inequality, and work to the words. For the inequality, the variable here is t. It says right here that the variable is t. It looks like we are including the 7, and we're including all the values that are greater than 7, because 8, 9, 10, into infinity is all greater than 7. So we're going to say that the t is greater than or equal to 7. Take a look at that. We have a closed circle, so we're going to say equal to or include all the t's greater than or equal to 7. There's our inequality for 1 point. The words then, you can kind of change this however you like. I'm going to try to keep the math words very simple here. We're just going to say t greater than or equal to 7. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple there. T is greater than or equal to 7. All right, go ahead and catch up there. So the T is greater than or equal to 7. Now you could have said lots of other things there, but I'm going to try to keep the math words very simple. All right, meet me on box 8. If I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause that video and catch up. Same thing here. We're given the graph. We're going to work backwards. So we're going to go graph to inequality up to the words. We notice that we have this open circle in 11, which means it cannot be equal to 11. So our variable here is x. So we're going to say x is less than 11. Notice it's not equal to because we're not including 11 and we have an open circle there. So I'm going to keep the math words super duper simple here. We're going to just say x is less than 11. Notice it's not equal to, not including, just the values less than 11. All right, same game here, moving from graph to inequality to words, working backwards. Notice in this problem here, we have a double graph here. We have endpoints on there. So for our inequality then, our variable is p, and our p is somewhere between 1 and 3. Notice those are both closed circles, which means we're including those values there. So we have those including values, and we're going to say less than symbols there. So 1 is less than or equal to p, less than or equal to 3. Notice the signs flow in the same direction. We just worked hard at doing that. The variable has to be between the endpoints. So our inequality is 1 less than or equal to p, and p is less than or equal to 3. So p is somewhere between 1 and 3, very clearly there. So I'm just going to do that same thing. I'm going to say that 1 is less than or equal to p. So there's my first statement, working left to right there. 1 is less than or equal to p. And, sorry about my writing there. I'm trying to write with this tablet pen and I'm struggling. P is less than or, sorry about that, or equal to 3. So go ahead and look at my two statements if you can read them. I'll go ahead and rephrase in case you're struggling on that. But 1 is less than or equal to p, and p is less than or equal to 3. So we have two statements there that we're including in one graph. Notice that p lives somewhere between 1 and 3. It can be equal to both 1 and 3, both ends. All right, let's keep on rolling here. We're going to work backwards on this one as well. The inequality there, the variable is a. So we have a living between 3 and 6 this time. Got to really watch our signs there. There is an open circle here at 3, so we just have this less than symbol. We have a closed circle at 6, we have less than or equal to. So there's our statement. We have a living between 3 and 6 cannot be equal to 3 because it's an open circle, and can be equal to 6. So I'm going to go ahead and say 3 is less than a, and so we have 3 is less than a, and we have a is less than or equal to 6. So we have 3 is less than a, and a is less than or equal to 6. Now, I know it's really hard to read what I just wrote on the screen. I apologize for that. I'm trying my hardest. But it says, again, working left to right there, 3 is less than a, and a is less than or equal to 6. All right. Let's finish this up, guys. We have 2 more left in the summary. Now, if I'm going way too fast, it's your job to pause the video. You work at your own pace. I know I'm a fast talker, so that's where that pause video comes in handy. So we have an inequality here. Inequality because it's not equal. It's that alligator mouth kind of problem. Our job is to work some words in there and get a graph. I'm going to go to words first, working left to right here. This says x is greater than -4. We have x is greater than -4. Notice it's not equal to because it doesn't have that little bar there. We're not including, we're not using lots of ink. X is greater than -4. So I'm going to go ahead and put -4 in the number line in the middle. We're going to 2 less 2 more it. 2 less 2 more. Now be very careful in your thought process on this because when we talk negative numbers, we're really talking about people owing money. So if I owe somebody $4, I want to think about what is worse than owing somebody $4. What's less than or worse than? Well, owing somebody 5 is worse and owing somebody 6 is worse. So that's 2 less than -4, 2 worse. And then working in the other direction, 2 better than -4. would be -3 and -2. When we're in the negative world, you got to kind of think backwards because we owe people money. We don't want to owe a lot of money. Open circle at -4 because we're not including -4. We're looking for all the things greater than or better than -4. So we're going to shade right, and we're going to lock that into infinity with a giant arrow there. So we have open circle at -4 shading right to infinity. All right, last problem of the day before we do our summary. So here is our inequality. Our words would say that we have x is less than or equal to -10. So we have -10 in the middle here. We have lots and lots of ink here because we're going to include this -10. We 2 less, 2 more it. Now -10 means you pay somebody $10. 2 less than that or 2 worse than that would be -11, -12. We're thinking worse is less. So less than, 2 less, 2 more. 2 more, 2 better would be -9, -8. Got to be really careful on your thought process with negative numbers. So we're looking for the values that are less than or equal to -10. We're going to go ahead and include that -10. And we're thinking about all the values that are worse than -10. We're going to go ahead and shade left all the way to infinity. -11, -12, all the way to infinity gets the job done there. So close circle at -10, shading left. All right, 8th grade. So our plan then for our summary here is, let's keep in mind what we just talked about. This symbol here is the less than symbol. A couple of students told me that this is helpful to them if you think of that as an L, less than. And we are not including, we're not using lots of ink there, so that's an open circle when graphing. So we're getting really, really close to that value, but it is never, ever equal to that value. On the opposite scenario, then, we would have this be the greater than symbol. Again, another open circle because it's just greater than. It can be super duper close to it, but it cannot be exactly equal to it. All right, go over here now. A little different. We have the less than or equal to, because that bar underneath says yes, we can include that. So we have a closed circle. We're going to include, use lots and lots of ink for that. And then over here we have the greater than or equal to. Again, lots and lots of ink is going to be used for that. We're going to include and ink that. Lots and lots of ink used for that. All right, 8th grade. So your homework is to finish all the way through page 4. So you need to finish the rest of this page 2, page 3, and page 4 due tomorrow. Have a fabulous night.